Hey, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul,
And I'm Patrick.
and I thought I'd surprise Patrick by a sudden start, which
Hey.
was
I'm
happy,
always ready. Born ready, buddy. Born ready.
good, happy Christmas,
Hey, happy everything.
happy
Happy end of year
holidays,
too.
yeah, happy New Year as well, happy 2022.
And
Which
it
is
hasn't been for an awful lot of people, including us in various many ways, but has also been good.
yeah,
Paul, I gotta say, of all the years we've been YouTubing together, this has been the weirdest, which is why it's fun to get to talk about it.
yeah, it has been overly weird. So
Mm.
talking about tonight, tonight we are talking about which or today or tomorrow or whatever. We are talking about this is our yearly news roundup. So as you probably know, we do a monthly news roundup, which is just based on the month. Which is this is the yearly news roundup, which is where we go back throughout the entire year, put together some of the stories that we thought were the best ones or were the most important or important to us or whatever kind of thing, and we're going to talk about them, which goes so which is fun.
Well, Paul, it's important to us and important to everybody else. And I think in some cases, some of the stuff we're going to cover, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, of course, we remember that. But do you remember all of it? Because some of
Mm,
this stuff has run and run and run. Um,
yeah.
for my money, the biggest story of the year, in a lot of ways, you can't say anything without mentioning Warner, Discovery, HBO, DC, all of that entire festive Christmas cake of a mess or success, depending on who you are and what time of day it is, and what happens by the time people watch this video.
Yeah, by the time they watch this video, this is going to be more. It's going to be James Gunn has announced, like, I don't know, The Rock as Superman. If that happens, man, that would be amazing. Because we're recording this before release, obviously, so it'll be really interesting to see a new thing coming out afterwards and just really firing up this video.
Yeah. If you're watching this on like the 3rd of July 2023 and James Gunn has announced that he is playing Batman and that The Rock is going to be the Joker, forgive us for not knowing that.
Yeah,
That's one that I can't see coming. Although, looking back at the year, getting us on topic for 2022, there was all the promise of Black Adam and The Rock's arrival, which was tied very much to that big story of Warner and Discovery merging,
mm,
or really Discovery buying Warner Brothers in a lot of ways,
that's pretty
which
much
was
how it
very
was.
well, yeah. And everybody's like Discovery, the TV channel. The like what we've all Warner Brothers was seen as the more famous entity, and especially for comic book people with DC going, oh, but wow, yeah, Discovery are huge, or where huge are huge, whatever way you want to put it. They're even huger now. They're the most hugest. I'm going to conjugate that word to the point of it meaning nothing. So that massive bunch of stuff, which has HBO in the mix, and we've been talking about HBO Max for so long.
Yeah,
When it all finally got glued together, whatever way you want to call that merger, it started having casualties and ripples and impacts and rumors. There was cancellation of Batgirl, the movie, which had been 99.9% completed, Paul, from every account that can be found.
yeah. I think it was just in small time, like cleanup and stuff like and polish. That was all that was happening to us. But yeah, it was a bit of a surprise that it was just suddenly. I guess it was the start of as you said, the casualties of the DC current lineup. I guess of things, which was and then the start, because a lot of people were just like when they started announcing cancellations, because the whole story was that Batgirl wasn't good enough,
Mm.
which was an interesting which was a interesting and confidence filling kind of like, oh, maybe DC are gonna change kind of thing. But everybody got worried about which was Shazam and Black Adam, Flash, Aquaman. A couple of movies were either in the works or which just were finished and ready for release and stuff like that. Now some of these movies were hit by other things, which goes, yeah, but everybody was confused about what was going to happen to, like, yeah, Black Adam and Shazam. Like, what was
And
they were scheduled to be released at the end of the year, and we started having cancellations pretty quickly at the start.
And it got nice and spicy really quickly too, because we have to cast our mind back all the way back to 2020 and 2021 when HBO Max arrived, the HBO Warner streaming service. Then HBO Max, during the darkest timeline of the pandemic, under different management, some genius thought it would be a good idea to annoy every theater owner that they've ever worked with and do day and date releases, acting like the pandemic was going to last for absolute ever, and that streaming was the only thing that would ever last in the future. So by the time all of this kind of news, particularly Batgirl, because this one that captured everybody's imagination, this idea of it's not good enough, and we're all going, yay, you should never release something that's, you know, not good enough. And then everybody said, well, no, but you should release it, dump it to HBO Max. And that's when people started learning that it's not show friends, it's show business.
Yeah.
And the business side of things is you can only take your tax write-offs, and you can only write off certain things during certain periods of, I don't know, mergers and things like that. So there was a window. How good or bad the movie is, we'll never know. Is there truth to the rumor that it wasn't great or wasn't up to the standard it needed to be? That feels pretty likely. But was that the only reason that it was convenient for it to happen when it did? No, it's a confluence of events, which in the end wasn't going to end up affecting something like a Black Adam unless it was truly terrible. And it wasn't finished enough at the time to be known to be truly terrible.
Yeah.
So it was a weird and confusing time. I think the biggest part that caught me on the hop was all of the rumors. Like, is David Zaslav really only taking over Warner to end up selling it all to Universal NBC? Within 4 weeks of things finally happening, it was like, yes, and this is just a 2-year play to sell it on further. I'm like, I can't take this.
Yeah.
Paul, you and me we don't have the graphical prowess to do that chart. We're going to have to get, Charlie Day. We're going to have to do the red twine and the Post-its to try and work out where it all came from, where it's all going.
It'll be worse than our Halloween, which goes
the
Halloween web of plots and stuff like that, or sequels and stuff.
For anyone who doesn't get that, go to our rapid trivia video on the Halloween movies, because there's 3 Halloween 1s, 2 Halloween 2s, 3 Halloween 3. Let's not do it again. But
you'll see what we mean about the red thread. But yeah, it was a confusing time because we were just completely like we got some really good news eventually, which was about the DC studio being kind of separated out to be its own thing, which was really, really nice. But yeah, it was just a very kind of turmoil time where we were just like, what's going to happen to all this? Kind of what's going to happen to DC? Are they going to continue on? Is this the end of the DC live action films? Like, is it just going to turn into TV shows? Then there was the whole story of them being the complete story or complete universe of story, of TVs and movies and comics and everything merging together and stuff like that. And, the same thing that Marvel has done. We've always said that, DC needs to take its time. It needs to, start from scratch and kind of, build up slowly and get us used to characters that we like and stuff, which it had done kind of thing. And then they were just like, let's just wipe the board clean. So it's an interesting one because it's been constantly turmoil.
Would you like to cover the Gunn Safford now, or would you like to come back to that as its own mention in a moment?
Oh, God. Let's do it now.
Okay. Then just before we do, going back to that very first thing, and I really should have disclosed this in there. I seem like I'm having loads of fun, and Paul, we're in jovial end of year mood here. But the idea of mergers, etc., mergers, acquisitions, they always result in one other thing. That's job losses.
Yeah.
And to everybody who suffered job losses because of it, we're not making light of your situation. It's the horrible part of that's why it's definitely not show friends. And once you can put business into anything, business is cruel and cold. Scrooge ain't got nothing on a boardroom. So yeah, to all the people who are still being affected by that, I hope you didn't take a job in Twitter to then have that affect you later in the year. It's been one of those years for a lot of people. So yeah. But then the White Knights came in, the Shining, or I should say the Shining Galahads, or whatever the right reference here is. James Gunn, the man that made Guardians of the Galaxy not seem like a crazy movie. It was like, who can pull that off as a movie? James Gunn could. Suicide Squad, interesting,
Yeah.
very successful. Peacemaker. Then you broke the news, Paul, of James Gunn is in. He's in talking to DC, so there's more movies on the way.
Yeah.
What was it? 3 weeks later, we're then talking about. It's been announced James Gunn and Peter Safran are co CEOs
Yeah.
of DC Films, which is now being its own film thing, not just part of Warner as a logo. It's actually getting its own management structure.
Yeah, that was the big, yeah. Everybody, which it also turned out that it was Blue Beetle that they were talking about as well. That was the film that James Gunn was. It must have been a weird kind of meeting, I guess. James Gunn going in and going, I really want to do Blue Beetle, and they went, you can, as the CEO of. But it's like, sorry, what? But yeah, no,
Do you
yeah,
think it was one of those "why do we have you here" moments? Like they did the whole
yeah.
meeting, and then 5 minutes to go. Look, if you have a minute, we want to talk to you about something else. You wouldn't mind just running the whole thing with your good producing friend over there.
That would be, it would be so much fun, yeah, if they were just like, yeah, both of them are in the meeting talking about Blue Beetle, and it's just like, well, why did you just, yeah, I wonder if that's actually, maybe that's how it started. They were just like, they were telling them how they wanted to make Blue Beetle, and it seemed like a really good thing that they were just like, wait a minute, I just had an idea. You just take over the entire thing. Um,
Yeah, here endeth our slide. We've gone through the slides, slideshow. We've gone through all the slides. Hang on, how come you have two more slides? What's on those? Well, wait till you see, because you're now going to get to decide the whole entire future of the DC cinematic universe, as people are now. It's people are already starting to call it the MCU and the DCU.
yeah,
So it'll be
DCU.
DC Universe, not DCCU.
Or the,
Um,
what was it, the DCEU?
EU.
Yeah, well, that was
Yeah.
the other one. Yeah.
Well, now that they've come out and said we could be, we're looking at this from all media, games,
Yeah.
uh, TV, movies, the works. They're going to try and out Marvel, which is a brave move, but they've already got enough, and we've covered this on the channel. They've already got enough coverage in their green shoots elsewhere, with like the Pattinson Batman. They've got the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Mm.
They can still do the thing that we've been talking about that we're glad DC had done in their previous guys, let's say, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop that.
Yeah, which is great. Those kind of, yeah, other alternative kind of DC stuff or franchise stuff is going to be really good. Because yeah, it'd be awful just to kind of see, like, because we didn't know what was going to happen to Joker 2, which everybody was really worried about as well, because it was such a great film. And then they might be continuing on with the Patterson Batman as well, which is great. I think that's a really clever idea. Just have them separate. They're just
But
separate.
they're not continuing on with everything though.
Yes. Some of these things might be cut off and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, it's been a weird one with that whole kind of, because then we've gone on to some of the controversies and stuff like that with James Gunn. Not with James Gunn, but with like the James Gunn DC news stuff, which was like Ezra Miller with the Flash and stuff like that. That's been a real difficult kind of ups and down kind of, will they release it, will they not release it, it all depends on what Ezra Miller's kind of got going on and stuff like that. But yeah, now they decided that they're going to release it in next year in 2023, so we've got that,
assuming that Ezra doesn't manage to get locked up for something else.
Yeah, I guess,
barring any more crazy.
Yeah, I guess they're just gonna put him in a house and just be like, just stay there. Which goes and then there's the Henry Cavill, which has only recently come out as well. Which is that Henry Cavill, who was returning, is now not return. Who was returning, who returned, and now is not returning, kind of thing. His whole controversy of kind of like being kind of screwed around. He fired his manager, who was The Rock's ex-wife as well, and business partner currently. So there's a whole kind of like, did The Rock screw over Henry Cavill and stuff like that. He's also just announced also that he was going to leave The Witcher, which was an interesting one as well because of creative differences and stuff like that. And I know that there's some stories that have started to pop up about how his way, like his treatment of people on the show and stuff like that, I
Messy
personally,
stuff all around.
Mhm.
Messy stuff.
Yeah, I personally, and this isn't like, I guess the view of Heroes. I personally just think it's kind of like firefighting. Like they're kind of like they've got such a big backlash from Henry Cavill leaving the Witcher show, and how they're not really caring about the source material and stuff like that. That they're kind of fighting back and kind of going, nah, it's not entirely, he's also not great, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's
And
also,
people are splashing in the mud to make sure that everybody gets dirty. I think I know what you're saying. Who knows what the truth behind
that's the
any
thing.
of this is, because it's so messed up.
That's the thing. You will never know what the truth of it is, really, kind of thing. Um, but he's also announced that he's going to start up his Warhammer 40k universe with Prime, which is cool. Because I'm a big fan of 40k, so, and I can't wait for it to be introduced to the larger audience, other than just the
People
games and
like
stuff like
me
that.
who haven't the first breeze. Yeah.
Yeah. You like dark and gritty, so you're gonna like it.
Cool.
Which is,
Sign me up.
and then
Oh,
yeah,
there's Gal Gadot as well, who I think for me very sad, because Wonder Woman, fantastic. Wonder Woman 84, less said the better. It was not good, but really liked her Wonder Woman. Uh, I'm not going to commit to whether or not Jason Momoa is or is not going to be Aquaman or Lobo or something else. Who
yeah,
knows? But yeah, kind of a shame on that casting all around, that they casted the DCEU very well, but the movies never matched the cast that they had. So I'm not sorry to see it being booted, rebooted, soft booted, whatever way you want to put it. And I know the Snyder fans out there are going to go nuts. Hey, I'm OG Snyder fan. I'm still talking about Watchmen being one of the best
yeah.
things ever, and I own my Sucker Punch, Blu-ray and stuff. So I'm not crazy into the Snyder DC side of things, because I just think there were too many balls dropped and mistakes made.
Yeah, like that's the thing with those. Like the Snyder Cut was just a bit of an interesting kind of side note. I guess I view it as a kind of story. I view it as another kind of like side thing, like the Batman and Joker now kind of thing, which was just like that was
Yeah,
interesting. That was pretty cool. Took me two
it can be
sittings to
its
get it
own
done.
pocket universe. Although, can I say that Ray Fisher, Cyborg, nobody ever mentions him and the fact that now that's the end of the road there, because already in 2021 things had exploded so badly there that was never going to be happening anyway, because his relationship broke down with the previous administrations, Walter
Yeah,
Hamada and everybody. I think it's so, all of this stuff, just a bad smell around it. So you know what, 2023, dude, looking forward to seeing what James Gunn and Peter Safran announce. Looking forward to DC again.
yeah.
That's the way I'm gonna kind of think about all of that stuff.
Well, that's, yeah. We're gonna look forward to what they're gonna do. They're gonna wipe the slate clean. We understand we're gonna be sad over the old parts that are gonna be slowly disappearing and stuff like that, or slowly being put onto the shelf again, and looking forward to the new. That's it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we have another comic book universe in which to enjoy the stories that come out of in 2023.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to Flashpoint. So Ezra, if you're out there listening, please take care of yourself, and please don't do anything else. But seriously, do. I know that, all joking aside, there's somebody who said that they were seeking help. Hope they're getting the help they need. And I'm hoping that movie's as good as everybody says, because it'll be a lovely way to end all of the previous chapter too.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'd be nice to see that they get the help they need and start the healing process.
Exactly.
So,
And shout out to Zach Levi. He's always going to be cool too. So Shazam will stand alone in my memory as just something I absolutely loved. I thought Shazam was just great.
Yeah, such a fun movie. Like,
it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, which wasn't released at Christmas, which was the only weird thing.
No, huge mistake. We both when we covered that at the time, we were both, first things first. Why wasn't this released as a Christmas movie?
There's Christmas trees everywhere.
I know. And usually Hollywood's on that kind of marketing connection stuff. It was such a weird miss. Anyway.
Which goes, it's been interesting DCU universe story stuff, and Warner Brothers Discovery and everything like that, and then some of the controversies that have been with us
Mm.
and stuff like that. And then of course there's been a little bit more controversy, which we won't dwell on too much, which is the Olivia Wilde film, which was
Oh, don't worry, darling.
yeah, Don't Worry Darling, which
As it
had
turns out, worry everyone, worry, darling.
yeah, which had a plethora of gossip and controversy and all this kind of like, it definitely felt, out of all the controversies that happened, this was the one that was just um like kind of meaningless in a sense of kind of, it was more based on like relationship stuff that was kind of, this was more kind of like round the water cooler kind of gossipy
Yeah.
crap that
This
like,
was very TMZ, which
yes,
is not our beat at all, which kind of, I think, Paul, I don't know how well we disguised that we were just a bit pissed off that we had to even mention this stuff quite a lot, because we were both looking forward to the movie. I know we both think that Florence Pugh is amazing.
yeah,
Olivia Wilde, great directorial debut previously. So like it was all going in the right direction of us talking about this the way we would talk about it. Then it became about people's relationships. And the whole, by the time the whole, what do they call it? Spitgate, I guess, because everything gets gate after it. Yeah. When Captain Kirk got spat on by a boy band member, or
yeah.
as it should be said, Chris Pine got not loogied on by Harry Styles. Yeah.
It was like
Take it away.
It was the worst story that we had to cover. We're covering it now because it was still so big and it's part of the controversies of this year. It was the worst story that we had, the worst story in the sense of this was stuff that we didn't think was important to kind of comment on too much. The only real story that we could see from it was the fact that all of this stuff was destroying essentially a film that could be great, or
it's the only, like, we didn't have to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard because they weren't releasing a movie that we'd previously mentioned and were actively talking about. If we hadn't actively been talking about Don't Worry, Darling, we would have been able to ignore this.
Yeah.
So I'm actually angry at them for catfishing us into this bloody situation. So weird.
Yeah, it was probably the most kind of it was just a bad story that we had to cover just because we were showing that it was just like, it's damaging a movie, stop it.
So stop it.
So yeah, which is, yeah. So we'll go on to the next universe, away from the controversies and stuff like that, onto a mini controversy, I guess, and that is Marvel Phase 4.
Controversial or just a bit geek?
Yeah,
and for non-Irish people, disappointing.
Yeah,
would be just a bit geek.
I think that's it's not really a controversial or anything like that. Just Phase 4 Marvel this year,
Well, there's a couple of things that I know Paul doesn't like, and now I'm going to start sliding one pun in for every news story because there's something else I know Paul doesn't like, and that's Thor: Love and Blunder.
I enjoy
what I did there.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, I think I got very disappointed at what happened to the Wanda character that I thought had been brilliantly used and exemplary acted by Elizabeth Olsen in WandaVision, to then have Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange 2 kind of crap all over it a bit, especially since Everything Everywhere All at Once did a much better multiverse movie at the same time. But to be fair, it was when Thor: Love and Thunder came along that we both hit the same page.
Yeah.
And you came in you came in strong with the rage there. Moon Knight had kind of faltered a bit for me, and I loved Miss Marvel, but I didn't completely connect with Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though I like the characters themselves. There was good, there was bad, there was good, there was bad, but we both had a very complicated relationship with Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I think because we expected, because Spider-Man, which started the Phase 4 off, which was released in 2021, started off so strong that when we saw Multiverse of Madness, now I liked it, but I was also very much just like, that's a bit, it's a bit disrespectful to the it's a disrespectful to Wanda, which is, and the character and stuff like that. even though I liked the film and I liked the multiverse kind of aspects and stuff like that, there was still a disappointment kind of thing there. Most of the TV shows, I think there was good points and bad points that I could see. I think the only difference on the page of Moon Knight, we were on the same page. I think it got to a point and we were just like, this is kind of, I think at the start we were like, where the hell is this going? And then it started to get really good, which is a terrible way for a TV show to kind of. There should be at least some beats that it hits that, like, start getting you excited about stuff. Um, Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier, I really enjoyed. Which was you had issues with Miss Marvel. I actually missed.
I loved, which I'm looking forward to you getting back around to. And then, yeah, you've watched She-Hulk in the end?
Yeah, She-Hulk. I think the ending was the only part that I had a problem with, but the rest of it was really, really good. I do think that it's still on tone for the character and everything like that, but I did have an issue with the amount of Hulk they had in it, and the ending. Like that was about it.
Do you know if they'd said Phase 4 was going to be the TV phase only, I think we wouldn't be kicking on Phase 4 so hard. Because it's really when, you just listed out some stuff there and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it wasn't all bad. And then my brain went, don't forget the movies. Don't forget the movies.
Yeah.
Eternals and all the other stuff. And particularly kind of how it whimpered and ended this year. For me, Wakanda Forever was not a strong finish. Don't think it was the worst movie ever made or any of that kind of stuff. People tend to take you up wrong in this, but it definitely was laden with issues, enough to almost sink an armored boat. That's how laden with issues it was.
I really hate that boat. But yeah, it wasn't out of a somewhat strong start to a faltering middle to a slowly declining end is kind of how I feel.
Damp end,
like kind of thing. So I'm hoping that some of the movies that are coming out, though we've already talked about it in some of in our last video, which is some of the surprises, like in our award show, Werewolf by Night and the Christmas special,
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special was awesome.
Was kind of, I guess, good achievements for them to show the differences. Though I also feel that it's James Gunn turning the knife. Anyway,
also Werewolf by Night is Marvel's Joker. Let's say it now, not comparing them like for like, but that idea that Marvel should consider, you know what, maybe we'll use these specials, and that's where we'll go off and do little satellites that are tasty and enjoyable and really artistically expressive. So if one thing makes me happy out of Phase 4 more than anything else, it was actually Werewolf by Night and what it means and what it could mean.
Yeah,
the promise, Paul. It's always about the promise.
It is.
I am the mystery box guy. I'm like, God, I'm not taking the $1 million. What's behind the door? What's behind the door?
Yeah, the potential there of making really, really good stories that are sit outside of the main universe and stuff like that. So it means that they can kind of open up their creative toolbox even further. It's just like, yeah, we don't have to care about the Bible of the MCU. We could just be like, yeah, this and that. It's like what if, but
what if?
Longer form kind of thing, I guess.
Exactly.
So that'll be an interesting. I guess that's one of the only few things that have come out, which was from us, I guess. Mm-hmm. No, some of the movies and some of the other shows.
Well, some of the I can't believe I've just blanked her name, Miss Marvel. I've been saying her name all year and now it's left me because I was going to say Tatiana Maslany, but that's She-Hulk. Anyway. Fantastic actresses being added to the MCU with great little performances. So we're all good. I'll go look up her name when you talk about the next thing.
Yeah, there's been very strong actors, like very strong cast being there to inject into the MCU kind of thing, which is great. And then there's some great stories that are coming out from Quantum of Mania, which was Kang. We talked about before in one of our monthly. Ones was Kang, the guy who was playing Kang. I've also blanked his name. Was saying that he is thoroughly enjoying Kang the Conqueror, playing him for the universe or for the MCU, which is great. If you're having fun, because Josh Brolin really seemed like he was having fun with Thanos. I'm hoping that Kang the Conqueror will also come across as a very fun kind of thing. Did you get her name?
Oh yeah, no, but I'd actually remembered her name and just should have had the confidence to say it because I knew it was Imam Vellani. But now I'm looking up Kang's name because his name also escaped me. The minute you said it, I was like, oh God, I know. What is with us and names today?
Names are pretty bad for us, yeah.
I just it's weird, and for whatever reason, I thought it would come up straight away when I typed it. Here we go. There's all of the who is Kang. It's who is playing Kang. Nathaniel Richards. It's Jonathan Majors, isn't it? Yeah, it's Jonathan Majors. Sorry about that. There you go, folks. You got to see that one go wrong live, which is nice. Paul, I think Phase 4 is best forgotten. As in, when I say forgotten, I mean it shouldn't be held against them forever. It should be digested and moved on from. I'm not calling this the death knell of the MCU. I am saying that they should watch our channel because just before it all went wrong, we told them, the Marvel people, they should slow down. We had a whole video about this very thing coming to pass. And unfortunately it did.
Yeah, we definitely thought that they needed to slow down, take their time with this phase. And which we thought they might have gotten in the darker timelines, but it turns out they didn't get enough. And then the other item we were also talking about was just that they've built up a good rapport of credit, I guess, from the viewers, because phase 1, 2, and 3 were so good that I think phase 4, although averagely not great, the quality had dipped. I think we're able to forgive quite quickly if Quantum Mania is quite good, and a couple of other ones are very good as well. So, and then obviously I see your line here that also we are probably going to get mutants at some point. Because that is it seems to be a story that was brought in Wakanda Forever. And that was
and the little sting in Miss Marvel with the correct music, in case anybody's wondering. It was awesome. So give me my gambit. There you go, Kevin Feige. I know you're a viewer. Kevin, while you're there, do us a favor, hit a little like and a share. I know you're already a subscriber. And feel free to comment down below and tell everybody else that you are genuinely the Kevin Feige of Marvel. And just get round to getting Gambit in there, will you? Please.
Yeah, a better Gambit. Yeah. Okay, cool. I didn't know how you felt.
No. Oh, no. Hashtag not my Gambit. Dude from Battleship and Friday Night Lights. Tanner Kirsch. Yeah, not my Gambit.
What was it, Carter? Yeah. Anyway, which was so and then this year was also the year of the biopics. That was the other.
Oh, weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like because they were weird biopics too. It's like strange that two of the most famous entertainers in kind of the Hollywood land, let's say, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, one of the biggest names in entertainment history, let's say. Similarly, Marilyn Monroe, from a Hollywood point of view, she's got some name recognition, and they were both weirdly dark in odd ways, and not received particularly well because of that for some people. Elvis less so, let's say. You get less difficulty there, but Tom Hanks being Colonel Tom Parker and being very dark, and the weird Al Yankovic biopic, which is the only one that's genuinely weird because that's actually what it's titled, did it the right way in most people's estimation of how they'd like a biopic of him. So yeah, like there's bios every year. There used to be the kind of, we're going to do Johnny Cash and then Ray Charles and we're going to do whatever. Then there'll be, kings and regents and royalty and all that in other phases. This year it was the biopic of the entertainers, and it didn't go the way you'd think.
Elvis came out quite early on, like mid which year, and everybody had already been kind of confused about Tom Hanks's kind of character that was playing. So that was a bit of a weird one. I think it's just because we're so used to Tom Hanks not playing, or playing maybe some grumpy person that becomes quite nice. Maybe
Which he's playing in a movie right now as we speak. Yeah.
Yep. Which is yeah, so like it was a weird thing. I like my partner is very into Elvis and was not interested at all in this biopic at all, which is a big kind of it's a big shining kind of warning light to me that it's just like if a huge big fan of Elvis was not interested in seeing this biopic, then it's like we were really biting at the bit to see Bohemian
Yeah,
Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah,
Yeah, and like that turned out that it wasn't like it was a bit of a mixed bag kind of thing.
yeah. Like I enjoyed it overall. It was one of those ones. I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody, and they did what they did, and I enjoyed what they did.
Hmm.
But yeah, Elvis. It was all about what are they going to tell? What story are they going to tell? And after I watched it, I was like, what story did they tell?
Yeah, that was I've heard a lot of things of just going it's very confusing and mishmash of kind of what they're going with and stuff. So
Yeah,
excuse me.
which is
Blondie,
why Weird Al wins the year. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Blondie was the Martin Moreau one, which was also there was a lot of weird stuff with this one that I don't really want to go into just
Hmm.
because but there was which was there was a few stories that came out specifically about some of the content and stuff like that within the movie that became a huge like a fairly big story. You can look it up and stuff. We're not going to go into it here. So I'm perfectly yeah. Weird Al Alkovich, man, that was yeah. All I've heard is just amazing things by Daniel Radcliffe. So like, which is also hilarious that Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, which we shouldn't typecast, but Daniel Radcliffe, who has had stars from the Harry Potter series, has had an amazing kind of you know wide variety of movies and stuff like that to play Weird Al Malkovich and looks so much like him. It's so weird.
Yeah. Weirdly, yeah. Weird Al has done as a Weird Al fan since a very young age. Does things his way, and did a biographical movie that isn't properly biographical. So that's the way it should be. It's a parody pastiche of his own life. What else would you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm looking forward to like what in the next couple of years biopic area will be. Well, you know what I was going to say for a minute? It will be something random like Pinocchio, except we had 15 of those, I think, or is it 18 now? Is there another three out before the end of the year?
Three, I think, was the actual story. The actual
I think the
this.
final count is three if you don't include anything in the pornographic realm.
Yeah. All right.
I'm assuming, and I'm sure those stories write themselves. Yes, yes, viewers, let's move on.
Which is yeah. So and then we had some of the highest grossing movies this year, just to give you kind of a little bit more information. Which is I'll give you the top. I'll give you the top five because the fifth one is the one that we really want to talk about. Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World, Doctor Strange, Minions, and Avatar. They're the top five that are currently grossing this year. Which is Avatar has just been released about 2 weeks ago. Which is it has 3-4 days to go, 5 days to go of recording this kind of thing. We don't think it might hit the top. It probably won't hit the top spot in this year, but as the overall kind of one, it'll probably start hitting further and further up that rung.
Cameron
Um,
movies do just keep slowly farming in the money.
yeah, yeah, they do. Which goes, but so yeah, so they're your top five kind of highest grossing movies. We have, I think there's two on that list. There's probably two on that list that you definitely don't agree with. Which is probably two Jurassic World Dominion and Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Um,
and look, I expect Marvel's Doctor Strange to rake in the money. It disappointed me in many ways. I've more and more issues the more and more I think about the movie.
yeah,
We did a whole episode because of me, Paul, about how Jurassic Park, how you can't lose money making Jurassic Park
yeah,
movies. And this proves my point, because it is easily one of the crappiest films made this year.
yeah,
And we covered it last week. Proportional to budget, it is definitely the worst movie per dollar spent. Possibly this century so far.
ooh,
But it's what is it, third on the ranking or
it's
fourth, did you say?
second. Yeah, I know. You don't lose money from doing a Jurassic Park film. which was
I'm vindicated for saying that we should do that as an episode, Paul. That you just can't lose money on dinosaurs. But hell, what
yeah,
did we title that? The franchise that can't die or
it
can't
was
be made extinct or something? Holy moly! How can
yeah.
that be the second most financially successful movie this year? If you've seen it, you'll know why I'm exhaustedly exercised and angry to hear that.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah, it's just one of those franchises that no matter what, because of toys and because of brand recognition and stuff like that, it's just not gonna. It's just not gonna leave you alone.
They have my money. I went to see the
Yeah,
damn thing.
we all went to
I
see
want my
it.
money back.
We all went to
It was
see it. Which is but yeah, that's the highest grossing movies of this year.
Top Gun Maverick deserves it.
Yes, agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the only one that I can't comment on out of that list, so far, is Minions: The Rise of Gru. I'm going to see Avatar this week, so which is hopefully I'll be able to comment on a little bit more in a story. But Minions: The Rise of Gru is probably the only one that I can't really, which is right now, just comment on. Though Minions,
I've never seen a Minion or a Despicable.
Oh, really?
I will get round to them someday. Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a Minion is probably another franchise that you can just make money off, just no matter what. So, which is
There's money in Tic Tacs.
yeah. So, which is out of that one, which is some more YouTube kind of, I guess, esque news as well. Which is also, so yeah, more YouTube because we are on the platform of YouTube. Which is shorts.
This doubles as a warning for everyone. To survive on YouTube, we're all going to have to start getting into shorts. So be prepared to see us in short form at some point in 2023. Even we won't be immune. I don't think we'll be appearing on TikTok anytime soon necessarily, Paul, unless it's a share over. YouTube is our home.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, short form content is changing how people consume, even on YouTube. And YouTube themselves are pushing it really hard, which I respect and I have no problem with. But it does mean that we're open for very short 30 to 60 second ideas, folks. If anybody wants us to do any series on stuff, we're going to have to start pumping out some shorts. And when I say pumping out, we don't do anything just for the sake of checking a box and getting content out there, because we're doing this to entertain ourselves as much as we're trying to entertain you guys.
Yeah.
But because of the short nature, I'd say get prepared for some wacky ideas that me and Paul are like, sure, why not? It's only going to be 30 seconds long and then people forget it next week.
Yeah, I think you'll find that a lot of the shorts that we do will probably be experiments that might make it into the longer form later on. But we're going to give it a go. So,
yep.
Which is, so 2023 is the channel or the year of the shorts. So,
yeah.
So get
which I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna try to make that joke. I couldn't make that joke. I was trying to make. It's the feature of shorts from YouTube. If anyone, I'm gonna get some red shorts. I'm gonna put YouTube on it and then just constantly wear them in it. Nah.
Do you know what we'll do? All our shorts videos will actually not be our faces. We'll just put headphones on our hips, and we can do nice red YouTube shorts talks where you can hear our voice, but we'll just wiggle.
I need to do some squats before we do that. Which goes, and our last story of the year is about our wonderful supporting audience.
Damn right it is.
Thank you very much for all the support this year. We have grown a good amount this year, a lot more than we expected. Thank you very much. Obviously we are going to pressure you into doing all the follows and all the didgeridoos and stuff like that, and also just bring it up in random conversations, not even with people that just randomly enter a conversation and just be like, you should check out Heroes Out, and then leave. It's just check out Heroes Out on YouTube and then just leave the conversation.
There's never a bad function to grab a mic and do it, be it a bar mitzvah, a wedding, a funeral. Just get on that mic, shout, subscribe to Hear Us Out, and then run and leave the room. Obviously shout that you're not directly affiliated and that we can in no way be legally held responsible for ruining the baptism, or whatever it might be.
But we are very much thankful for all the support that you guys give us, which is on a daily. and which is we are pushing for 2023 to be the year of feedback, honest and tough feedback of what we're doing,
Yes.
and stuff like that. What we can do better, what you want to see more, what I want to see more. And we're putting it on you, Patrick. You have to do all the work.
I'm very happy. I'll take all feedback on the chin. But yeah, everybody out there, if we're not covering stuff, if we're too fast, too short, too long, too widescreen, too blue, if you want a different color light, whatever it is, just let us know. But yeah, the big thank you to everybody who's given us any time to watch anything, and a special little extra thanks. Not that, I'm thankful for every single view, but a special little extra thanks to those who commented either live or especially the people who took time to comment after. We've got some really, really nice follow-up comments on videos. And we've got some really not so nice. I want to call out our resident troll. I'm not going to give his name because I don't want to embarrass him. There's one person out there that spends a lot of time saying that he won't hear us out, which is good. It's always nice to have your own little bit of what's it called if it's not fan mail? Hate mail, I guess.
Hate mail. Yeah. I don't even think, is it really hate mail? Like, the show is about hearing us out. If you choose not to hear us out, I guess we just can't do anything about it. But
we have our own ambivalent stalker. It's ambivalence mail. I'm ambivalent to you, and I'm just letting you know. So, okay.
Thanks for the
sorry, go for it.
No, I was just saying thanks for the information, for telling us that you don't want to hear us out. Yeah. We'll continue on with our lives.
Well, we're thanking everybody, and seriously, I know we say this every year, but that thanks, it could not be more serious, because we are doing this to try and have fun with each other, myself and Paul. It's one of the ways that we stay connected, and it's a great outlet for us. But really, every single when we see a video with one view on it, the minute there's one view, it's like, that's cool. Yeah. Somebody just chimed in or dropped in to see it, and then when we get an engagement from somebody who says, "Hey, you were full of crap," or "That was great," it is like fireworks. My heart grows double in size. But Paul, now's that awkward part where we have to be nice to each other and pretend that we're friends, because I would like to say thank you to you for everything you've done yet again this year, and I look forward to next year. I'm not going to lavish more praise on you than that, because I know we're probably burning tape here.
Thank you very much for all the work that you've done, and thanks for hiring me as a fake actor that just reads lines throughout the year. I
do have some feedback.
You're putting my fake college or fake children through college.
Through fake college?
Yeah, through fake college. Expensive fake college.
Well, if it's good, while we're making it up, they may as well go Ivy League.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, everybody who's been watching and stuff like that. Yeah, we have only wanted to meet and talk and do this stuff for like-minded people who are interested in the entertainment industry as much as we are, to do it with such a great personality has been absolutely amazing this year. Thank you very much, Patrick, for all the work, effort, and everything like that. You do not understand, people, how much work and effort Patrick puts into the show,
it's awesome.
And it is amazing, and I cherish
this is a 50-50 endeavor, and I will say that in front of a judge, just so you know. I'm not going down without taking you with me, Paul.
Yeah, this is where next year you find out about all the horrible background stuff, and I'm trying to dump my way out of it.
The competition you secretly ran on the side and collected all the money.
I'm just an employee.
What do you mean, hear us out, coin? I didn't know we were doing crypto.
What do you mean we have stocks in Twitter?
I'm an NFT now.
But yeah, thank you very much for everything, and for the last time this year, but not the last time ever, I've been Paul,
and I've been Patrick,
and we've been Hear Us Out,
and we'll see you next week / next year. Love you, Paul, and love you all. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks very much, Patrick. See you guys next year. Bye-bye.
Bye.